in Wisconsin threes. What did you learn from that?
That they shot it well.
Was anything?
Yeah. Well, the first one was a miscommunication play. It's one we went over several times in our walkthrough, and a couple days leading into that game. That's the first one. Then the second one, we had a little bit of a short closeout to a guy that had not been shooting the ball well. We talked about him being more of a driver. There were a couple where we did a good job with the game plan. They rose up and hit a contested shot, hit one in transition. I thought one we got clipped off on a pin-down type play. But we had multiple ones that we could have done a better job of, especially when they got it going with our coverages. And, it's something where, especially when they get it going, and they had not shot the ball great leading into that game. But once they got it going, you have to have more urgency on the closeouts. Their bigs, who we talked about being their best, most confident shooters on the team, hit three of them with just, we were a hair late, just a hair, but that's the difference if they go in or they don't. There's several that were correctable. There were some I thought we played good defense on where they hit a contested shot. But, just the overall urgency, especially once they get it going, had to improve.
With the way teams have shot the three the last month and they hit a few against you guys, do you feel a little snake bit at all, or is it?
Yeah, it's just. Guys have hit shots that hadn't hit shots all year. You look at the start of the second half against Indiana, for example. Our game plan was to play off of Brunk, and he unfortunately hit a runner from the free throw line and hit a shot free throw line just past the jumper. Those are shots that he hadn't hit the entire year. Justin Smith, who'd made 6 threes the entire year, comes on and hits one in transition on us. So that was 8 straight points in that game. Where teams are getting us is, if we drive it into a pile and we fall down and they have numbers coming down on us, those are the ones we need to do a better job of as far as our shot selection and being selective at the rim, which we did a much better job finishing in the game at Wisconsin. They did not hit many in transition, like I said, just the one. The teams are shooting the ball well against us right now, and again, we have to do a better job with urgency. But at the same time, the way we're built right now, we're last in the conference in block shots. We don't have that guy that can stand back there where you stay home with the shooters. One positive against Wisconsin is we outscored them by 20 in the paint. That hadn't happened in a long time for our team. So our attack was good. Our finishing was good, but obviously they hit too many threes to have a chance to win that game.
What can Deshaun take away from that fail and carry that forward?
Yeah, just, the biggest thing I thought is he was under control on his attacks of the basket. He only took one where I thought he was off balance, play where he was going to his left. That he missed, but 10 for 14, all of his finishes were in the paint, and that's something that he can build on. He'd been struggling in there a little bit, especially since the conference season had started, but he was terrific. He got to the rim, and like I said, he was under control. He had a couple nice kickouts on drives where he made simple plays, and that's what our offense. If we make simple plays, we're pretty darn effective. When we go in there and try to do too much and make the home run type play, that's where we're getting ourselves in trouble.
Sort of along those lines, Fred, what particular areas have you seen improvement on offense?
Well, I think we're taking great care of the basketball. That's where it starts. Especially for a team that plays fast. We're 13th in the country in pace right now. And I saw this stat yesterday: the top 25 teams in pace were number 1 at taking care of the ball. Number 2 is Gonzaga. So that's a really good stat. If you're going to play fast, you have to take care of the basketball. And we've done a really good job in that area, and that's kept us around. Even in games. That we've been close. We haven't won, with the exception of the Indiana game. That was the one where we had 5 turnovers, uncharacteristic turnovers, when we'd cut that thing to 8 and had really good defensive stretch where we couldn't get over the hump because of the turnovers. So, that's been one thing that I've been really pleased with is how we've taken care of the ball and maintained our pace of play. When we had good shots that first half, you looked at Wisconsin, not many teams go into that building and shoot 54% in a half. So I was really pleased with the ball movement, the attack, and, being under control and making simple plays. Second half, especially when you dig yourself a hole, at times human nature is try to get it back all at once. And I thought we had a few possessions, especially when we had something that was working where we got Kevin on top of the floor, either for a shot or to create a long closeout where he can attack and get to the basket. I was really pleased with how Kevin read that situation and got into the paint. But at times we do take a rushed one where you need to have a little bit of movement, get the defense shifted into either the pick and roll or the slot attack, the slot ISO. So You know, the one thing I have been really pleased with is we've maintained our pace of play. You know, through good times and bad, we have continued to get the ball out. That's how we want to play. It's the style we want to establish long term because I think that gives us the best opportunity to have success. But yeah, taking care of the basketball is a huge thing.
Rutgers is ranked for the first time in like 40 years. What do you make of the way that Coach Pikiell built that program and where they're at?
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job. I'm happy for Steve. You know, it obviously takes some time, you know, to build the program to get it to that point. But you know, he did a phenomenal job at Stony Brook, and you know, I got to know Steve very well when I was out recruiting the prep schools. I should have bought an apartment out in Tilton, New Hampshire, with as much time as I spent with George Niang out there. But you know, Steve was always a guy that I really enjoyed talking the game with, and you know, to see the way he's built it with his type of players and the style that they play with their toughness and pounding the ball into the paint, they're relentless on the glass. He's done a terrific job, and you know, it sounds like they're going to be sold out for the first time in a long time, and that building's loud when it's half full. So, you know, we're going to be in for a really tough game. We have to withstand runs. We know there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of excitement in that building. But as far as the way Steve's done it, I'm really happy for him.
Kevin said he felt like the team was slacking maybe physically against kind of what Rutgers brought to the table in that first meeting. How can you guys match the physicality of a team like that?
Well, he's right. That's the one game I was really disappointed as far as games in league. I didn't think defensively we matched their physicality, and you have to do that. You have to be ready right from the beginning of the game, which actually we got off to a good start. We didn't finish the half well at all. We had a couple gambles late in the half that gave them a double-digit lead. You just have to, again, you have to bring a physicality to this game, and if you don't, it's going to be a really long night. We have to get back in transition. They're really fast in that building. They pressure the full court. They press. You just have to be ready for all that. If you're not mentally prepared in this one, you know, stay home.
Monte didn't play in the previous game. Is he healthy, or was it your decision?
Yeah, he is. He's healthy, and you know, it's just a coach's decision I made. I thought we had a really good rhythm going in that first half, and you know, just flow the game. You know, Monte's been around a long time. He knows he's got to continue to prepare himself and be ready when his name's called.
Coach,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.